Hi, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist,
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
and together, I have to include him, we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet,
In our opinion, of
in
course.
our opinion.
Of course you gotta include me, otherwise you couldn't say we.
That's right, I
Yeah.
have to say hi.
So today, Bob, this is what I want to talk about. We've got two pieces of equipment and we've done videos on both of these. We use them in the clinic, people use them at home all the time. And one is I call it the Motion, and what's the full term for that?
Well, it's E1000 elliptical, probably, Elliptical. I mean, if you type in, if you're interested in getting one of these, if you type in E1000 elliptical, it should come up. It's made by Stamina, isn't that one?
Right,
I don't know if
right.
it's made by other people too, but this is the one that we generally have patients order. Tends to be about $100
Right.
With shipping.
Sure.
That's how I've usually got through Amazon.
Right.
And obviously that varies at times, but that's usually about the
We've
cost.
ordered about 10 for the clinic and had patients order them with good, it's a well-built machine. And we want to talk about the other machine that works well. This is for seated exercises, someone who needs an exercise while they're in their chair, and it's your standard, they call it a restorator or a seated bicycle, and it looks like this. You can get them anywhere from $20 to $60. If you get the cheaper model, it's probably, that's what it's worth. They're not welded, they're screwed together, and I've had a lot of problems with those with people that have gotten them. So, you know, spend a little bit more money,
You
get the
just spend
better
probably
one.
at least 30, would you say, Brad? Or
Probably,
more?
depending on where you're getting it from.
Maybe
I know one of the local suppliers in town, they deliver it to your house, they want 60, but I know if you went online, I'm sure you could get it down to 40 or 50 for the same one. This is a Temco unit right here, it's a nice unit, Temco. Okay, so let's talk about what we can use these for. Now with this, actually it's made for someone to use like this, able-bodied person with good balance, and you want to work your legs in a spot, miniature elliptical. Okay, now, if your knees are bothered, you got arthritis, this is for your mother, someone elderly who is not able to do it. We want a seated exercise, range of motion for your knees and your ankles and your hips. You turn it around backwards, so the letters are upside down. You get the chair here in the right position, and you start to pedal. Now, one thing we found that when it's in this position, it over flexes your ankle, is not real comfortable. So if you just take a couple of 2x4s, if you get whatever it takes, 3 inches of height there, makes quite a bit of difference on the comfort level of doing this. And it becomes easier to rotate, more comfortable in the joints, and it works really well. We've used this for how many years now?
Oh my gosh.
6 or 7 years on hundreds and hundreds
Of
of people,
yeah.
and people just love it. It works everything very smoothly. If you want to go a little more fancy and you got someone that's handy, instead of taking the 2x4s, you can take a piece of plywood and make a 3-inch bevel there and put this on. Okay. And we have the same thing. Doesn't matter, whatever works out well for you. And there we go, it works real well. There's a resistance level on this. The one thing I like about this one, it does have a timer built in, no big deal, but you can time yourself and it tells the number of revolutions you do in a certain amount of time. So it's a nice unit, we use it all the time. Anything else about it?
They hold up really well.
Yeah.
I mean, you said we finally have gone through one of them.
Yeah, I took it home. I'm an ex-mechanic. I took it home and literally took it all apart. They've got ball bearings in there. They're shielded with grease in them. That's the same thing they used to use. They use in electric motors that I worked with. It's a well-built machine. It's industrially built inside. It's going to last a long time, particularly when you use it in this fashion.
Yeah, when you're using it, not putting weight on it, I mean, these things just go and
Yeah.
go and go. Because I mean, we're using them 8 hours a day.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we get years out of them.
Yeah, we get
before-
years out of them, yeah, so.
So it's a great machine. Now, the disadvantages of this, we got to talk about this,
Right.
is they're heavy.
Yeah.
They're made out of steel, built well. There's a steel flywheel in there that's about 4 inches in diameter, and it's solid steel. That's what makes it smooth. It gives it an inertia to go around and around, but it makes it heavy. There are no handles on this to pick it up conveniently.
Wow. What would you say that weighs? 40 maybe?
I don't know. I don't even like. I don't know. I don't think
I got
40.
the strength of 2 men, so it's
Yeah,
hard for me to
You've got the
gauge.
strength of
30,
2 men.
40 maybe?
It's some.
And these kind of flop.
Yeah,
So you,
yeah.
they're not.
The things that make it a good machine also make it not
A heavy
so,
machine,
yeah.
yeah.
If they had a handle right here, it'd make a big
That
difference.
would make a big difference.
So if you're something you wanna move around, big check mark against it.
Yeah, you're not gonna bring this to your hotel room or on a plane or in your
Exactly,
suitcase.
yeah. Now, this is a nice piece of equipment, very light, built well if you get the better one, okay? They have little loops here to put your feet in, which I usually don't use because it's kinda hard to fit your feet in there. And if it works, you put your feet on there and you pedal, you get a very similar motion to the motion, okay? But this, what we find if you're, you know, in your 60s, 70s, or you have coordination problems, some deficits in your legs with coordination and strength, this kind of thing can happen. The foot can fall off. I have people right now. There's a gentleman with a stroke. He has left sides involved, and he can hold his foot on there. Now, some people, the same situation, that foot will fall off a lot, where that'll work better.
And this also seems like, quite often I found people, they are able to move it, especially if you're not on a non-skid surface.
It'll slide away.
Yeah.
So, well, the fix to that is put it up against the wall, and then put the chair here so it pushes up against the wall. The other thing, that the range of motion gets to be too much for the knees, and people can't make the full swing.
That's what I find.
Knee pain, and it's like, oh, that
You're not
hurts.
an average person like you're really coming up really high.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little hard on your
Right.
butt and
It's,
back.
it's hard to really make a good example of this on a healthy person, but when you get someone that's elderly that wants to keep moving in a seated position, sometimes these just don't work real well. Something you need to try. I always try it with a patient. If it works good, I have them buy it. If you know you got good range of motion, you can get up, move around, up and down steps, you'll probably be able to use this just fine. And you can take it with you. If you're gonna go on vacation to the cabin for a couple weeks, take it with you. That one you could, but it's just not as fun to put in the trunk as this one, that's for sure. Price-wise, we talked about that. That's definitely more, maybe twice as much more. That one will probably last longer. It's really what do you want? You know, that's gonna be something for
This
at
has low
home.
resistance too, doesn't it?
It does, but I find
They
these
don't work
resistant
very much.
knobs are really about as, they're just there. I don't think it works very effective at
Okay.
all. So, there you go, Bob, a couple pieces of equipment that can be good. It's just a matter of what your needs need.
Sounds good.
All right, thank
Thanks.
you.